Hi everybody. In this video, we'll start working with the sales journal. As always, I strongly recommend that you download and print the worksheets published for this lecture so that you can follow along with the video and practice using the sales journal. It is very important to remember that a sales journal can only be used to record sales on account. The journal entry that is made on the sales journal is a debit to accounts receivable, a credit to sales tax payable, and a credit to sales. Any other transaction simply will not fit on the sales journal and must be recorded in the general journal or in one of the other special journals. Wine Country Gift Shop sells cards, supplies, and various other gift items. In this exercise, we'll record the 6 sales-related transactions located at the top of your sales journal. All sales are subject to sales tax of 8%. The shop uses a sales journal and a general journal. We can assume all sales are on account unless otherwise specified. And let's also assume that the year is 2018. Let's begin. On February 3rd, we sold Joel Bennett a box of holiday greeting cards for $75 plus sales tax of $6 on sales slip 201. The amount of the sale is $75. In addition to that $75, we're going to have to collect $6 of sales tax from Joel Bennett. So the total amount that Joel Bennett owes us is $81. And we're going to need to debit accounts receivable for $81, credit sales tax payable of $6, and credit sales for $75. Let's get it recorded on the sales journal. Date, February 3rd. Sales slip number 201. Customer, Joel Bennett. We'll skip the posting reference column for now. Debit accounts receivable, $81. Credit sales tax payable, $6. Credit sales, $75. In the next transaction, we sold Ken Hamlet a Valentine's Day party pack for $200 plus sales tax of $16 on sales slip 202. Let's get that one recorded. Date, February 10th, sales slip 202, customer Ken Hamlet, debit accounts receivable $216, credit sales tax payable $16, credit sales $200. On February 13th, Vicki Neal bought 10 boxes of Valentine's Day gift packs for her office. Sales slip 203 was issued for $300 plus sales tax of $24. Let's record it. Date, February 13th. Sales slip number 203. Customer, Vicki Neal. Debit accounts receivable, $324. Credit sales tax payable, $24. Credit sales, $300. Let's look carefully at the next transaction. On February 16th, we gave Vicki Neal an allowance because of incomplete items in 2 gift packs that we sold her on February 13th. We issued a credit memorandum number 101 for $54, which includes sales tax of $4. In other words, The merchandise we sold her on February 13th was faulty, and we agreed to reduce the price we charged her by $54, which includes a reduction in sales tax of $4. To record this transaction, we will need to debit sales returns and allowances for $50, debit sales tax payable for $4, and credit accounts receivable for $54. Ask yourself a really important question. Is this a sale of merchandise on credit? Will it fit on a sales journal? The answer is no. Therefore, this transaction cannot be recorded on the sales journal. We'll need to record the transaction in the general journal instead. And I already have it recorded here. February 16th, debit sales returns and allowances, $50. Skip the posting reference for now. Debit sales tax payable, $4. Credit accounts receivable, $54. And we need some description to describe the transaction. There's a variety in the description you could enter, something on the order of credit memo number 101 issued to Vicki Neal for incomplete gift packs would work nicely. Going back to the sales transactions, the last two transactions are sales of merchandise on account, and they should be entered on the sales journal. Why don't you pause your recording and go ahead and enter those sales on the sales journal and come back and see the solution in just a moment. So I think you probably got these two entries correct. February 26th, sales slip 204, Amy Pelosa, debit accounts receivable 432, credit sales tax payable 32, credit sales 400. February 28th, sales slip 205, Gordon Dunn, debit accounts receivable 162, credit sales tax payable 12, credit sales 150. Once all the sales are recorded for the month, then we need to total up our accounts receivable debit column, our accounts payable credit column, and the sales column. The date is the last day of the month. Put the word totals in the customer name column, and then total up your three columns. With Excel, this is going to be very easy. For those of you that are doing this by hand, go ahead and total up your columns and see if your totals agree with mine. If your totals don't agree with these totals, then pause your recording to give yourself time to go back and find an error and fix it before you continue. The total of accounts receivable for the month, debits to accounts receivable for the month, are $1,215. The total credit to sales tax payable for the month is $90, and the total credit to sales for the month is $1,125. Okay, now that we've finished recording the sales for the month of February into the sales journal, and we've totaled up our columns, then we need to check to see if we're in balance. Do debits equal credits? Does this debit equal the sum of these two credits? Well, let's check it out. 1125 plus $90 of credits equals 1215 debits. So our sales journal is in balance. That's the end of this video. In the next videos, We'll practice posting debits and credits to individual customer accounts receivable ledger cards. We'll also practice posting these transactions to the general ledger accounts. We'll see how to use the posting reference columns, and we will write a list of accounts receivable by customer at the end of the month. See you next time.